Welcome back to the Just for Clicks podcast. I'm your host, Forrest, and with me today is my lovely, talented, and comforting wife, Alyssa.
Hello.
So today we're gonna just kind of chill, just kind of set the tone for your Monday. We went to the store earlier. We went to Michael's, and it was a lot of fun. We picked up some things for the fall season. Autumn is our favorite time of year, and it was just lovely.
Yes, it was great. We got some candles. We got some leaves. Decorative leaves.
Decorative fake leaves.
It was great.
Did you see I put those behind the TV?
Yeah, I saw that.
Did you like how that looked?
Yeah, I did.
Nice.
It was a good choice.
Yeah, I think we should probably move on to our first topic of the week. Annabelle has escaped. Have you heard about this?
Yes, I have.
So apparently the possessed doll Annabelle made her escape from the Warrens or the son-in-law or whoever owns her now. But she actually didn't make her escape.
Yeah.
It was just a rumor.
I was really freaked out. I'm glad it was just a rumor. That really gave me the heebie-jeebies when I read that.
Alyssa's very scared of anything paranormal. It's so easy to frighten her. It's comical. I can just pretend to be possessed and it'll really freak her out. So I don't even do it because it's not even funny.
Yeah.
I've done it a few times just to fuck with her, but it's not even really funny because she actually gets scared. And it's just too easy. So yeah, that was going to be a big story. We were going to talk about that, but it turns out it was all just phony internet gossip. Someone updated the Wikipedia and said that the doll was no longer on display. And then I guess Twitter or whoever ran with it and, hashtag 2020, what could go what could be worse, everyone's just tripping over themselves to find the next worst thing to add to the 2020 paranoia. 2020 is a fine year though. I'm having a great year. What about you?
Yeah, well, it's been really great for us. We got married in February.
Yeah. And
then we found out that I was pregnant in April. So personally, 2020 has been great.
I've been doing this job for the epic rap battle of history, and I'm really excited. I've been working with Sean for the past few months on it. It's a career highlight. I mean, it's one of those projects that when you get it, it's going to be one of those projects that is going to speak to every skill you've honed throughout your time as a filmmaker, and that coinciding with my wife being pregnant and everything. It's just a great time for me personally. Sucks that we have to wear masks and everything, and sucks that the country's going through this crisis or whatever you want to call it. But for me personally, things are going A-okay. Let's move on to the news, okay? So we're going to go and we're going to look at what's trending on Twitter. So there's nothing really going on. I check the trending stuff on Twitter every single week, and there's nothing ever happening. Trump's brother has passed away, sadly. There's nothing to really clown on about that. It's just sad. LGBTQIA of Twitter. What is the IA?
I'm really not sure. I'm quite lost.
LGBTQ. I know Q is queer. IA.
Is A like asexual? I'm not
Probably.
sure.
Yeah, that's a good guess. Yeah, I see these kind of hashtags pop up every once in a while on the trending side of Twitter. And it kind of just seems like an excuse to post pictures of yourself. And, I'm down with it. I like posting pictures of myself, too. I am also a proud bisexual. I've had sex with men and women. And you know what? I don't feel the need to label it. I think society is obsessed with labels. We don't need to figure out what everyone is. I think we can just kind of be ourselves. I guess that... I want there to be some sort of juicy, hot gossip on Twitter, but there never is. I guess we'll move on to your guys' hot takes. I asked for hot takes. I got a few of them just now from you guys over on Twitter. Gareth, he says, the Twilight movies are way better than people say they are. Wow, that is a hot take. I like that. I like that. What do you think, honey?
They're funny, I guess. I don't know. That is a hot take. That's definitely an opinion.
I've honestly never seen that before.
Yeah,
and that's just the kind of take I'm looking for is these very unique. Way to go, Gareth. Yeah, Gareth is a cool guy. I've worked with him before. He does Lego stuff as well. The Twilight movies are way better than people say they are. I don't know if they're way better, but there's something to them for sure. I mean, they wouldn't be as popular as they are if there wasn't something there. We actually did a commentary of Twilight back when I was in St. Louis. Were you there for that, honey? I think we were all... It was like a big one.
Yeah.
It was like Kira, Jabu, Mason, Mackenzie, yourself, and myself, I think. And we all gathered around the microphone and we watched the whole movie, the first one.
Yeah.
And I haven't edited that footage yet, but I will at some point, I guess. I don't even know if the audio quality was that great. We'll see. We might have to re-record that one. We've recorded a lot of movie commentaries that I haven't edited yet. I've just been so busy with the Lego videos and other things that I haven't got into them. But eventually, I'll do more highlight videos and upload more commentaries to the Patreon. We got another hot take from Biden Joe. Ben Affleck was a bad Batman, not because of his acting, but you could still tell it was Affleck under the mask when he was in costume. You know what? Let's just go ahead and say Ben Affleck was a bad Batman. Let's just leave it at that. I mean, I don't think we need to put any qualifiers on it. He was just bad all around. That's not an opinion that's shared by everyone, but it's the correct one. All right, we're going to move on to Greg Ross. He says, the RoboCop remake is actually pretty good. Yeah, I actually did like that remake. I didn't think it was bad. It wasn't the most special standout thing I've ever seen, but it wasn't bad. Did you see that movie, honey?
I did not.
Did you ever see the original RoboCop?
No, I don't think I have.
The original one is dope. If anyone hasn't seen RoboCop, I would highly recommend that movie. It's hilarious. It came out in the 80s. It's a really... it's basically a comedy.
James Kirby has an opinion that I share. Harry Potter is better than Star Wars. For sure. 110%.
That's definitely the opinion of probably a younger person who is a girl.
I mean, just kind of based on the movies. Harry Potter movies are pretty good. All of them.
They're good,
I would say.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I've only really seen like 2 Star Wars movies that I actually like. And I like all the Harry Potter movies, so...
The thing is, if you're a boy, you know, growing up in the 90s... You didn't have the Harry Potter movies. And you're a boy, so you like lightsabers. And you like shooting things. From a guy's perspective, Star Wars would be superior. You know, the Harry Potter movies are kind of gay.
What?
You know, they got their little wands. They got their, their little magic spells. It's kind of for Fruit Loops, you know? No?
Well, I never thought of it that way.
Think about Star Wars, you know, you blast a motherfucker off his spaceship.
I mean,
and
just
crash into the side of a building.
The thing about the Harry Potter movies is just that they have so much more heart and emotion. The Star Wars
that is true. There's more of an emotional through line in the Harry Potter films.
Star Wars is very just copy and paste.
Star Wars is more about the visuals.
Yeah.
And the music, kind of like the sweeping sensationalism of the spectacle, whereas Harry Potter is more about the characters. Yeah, I would say. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I feel like it definitely depends on the type of person you are and what you gravitate towards in a story. But I'll go ahead and say that they are on the same level in terms of awesomeness. I appreciate both universes equally. I celebrate them for being fantastic. Every single movie is good. Would you agree with that?
I wouldn't agree that they are equal.
Come on, babe.
I would much rather watch Harry Potter than Star Wars. Any Harry Potter movie, I would be happy to watch. Literally only maybe 2 Star Wars movies I would be happy to watch.
Which ones?
The Force Awakens, and I guess the second one in that, the one after The Force Awakens.
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, The Last Jedi. And even then, some of The Last Jedi and then some The Rise of Skywalker, most of those I would just be on my phone because they're boring as fuck. Like, the Kylo and Rey parts are what get me. And I like The Force Awakens because I do love Finn and Poe, but they have no character development past The Force Awakens.
It wasn't handled well.
Yeah, so I do like The Force Awakens because of them in that movie, but in the other 2, they're very dry, very predictable. It's disappointing.
Yeah, I hopefully in the future we'll get some better Star Wars movies, and maybe they can change your opinion. Why is Jim always in the closet knocking shit over? Okay, let's see. Is that all the hot takes I got? Some good hot takes. Keep them coming, guys. If you have any hot takes, controversial opinions, please hit me up on Twitter. I'm always there doing stuff, and I'm always looking for some controversial stuff. So go ahead and tweet me. All right. I think we can move on to a new section of the podcast that I'm introducing this week. It's called Things I've Been Confronted By This Week. : the cuckening The slow news. Okay, so this week we were told that some of Filthy Frank's old videos were removed by YouTube based on their asinine, backwards, unconstitutional terms of service. And basically they are a bunch of cucks, and they're removing things that they find offensive, and they're limiting people's freedom of speech. It's bizarre. It's pretty horrible, and it's all your guys' fault. Everybody out there who's making a fuss over nothing, this is what happens. You get limited in your free speech. You're not allowed to post things anymore. I mean, I was on Instagram the other day, and I couldn't view a post because they had censored it because it was misinformation. It was labeled misinformation. And you can click through the block wall, and it's literally a joke meme about what was it? Can you explain it, honey?
Yeah, so the meme, or like the joke, it was a photo of cars looking like they were melting.
Right.
And the joke was like, this is how hot it gets in Arizona, or something like that. Something along the lines of that. And it was literally like labeled as misinformation. Isn't that crazy? Like, wouldn't you just assume that it was a joke?
Good job, Instagram.
They were like, cars don't melt in that type of heat or whatever, and it's like, no shit, I know that, it's a joke.
So yeah, they're censoring memes now. They literally have no sense of humor. We all know they hate women. So Instagram is quickly becoming the cuck platform of 2020. YouTube following closely behind, never letting people express themselves. Just because someone has an opinion and you don't agree with it doesn't mean that it shouldn't be allowed online. Let's see. So yeah, that'll probably become a new segment in this podcast, the cuckening, the slow news, and we'll kind of just highlight things that are absurdist and that are limiting our freedom of speech. Let's see. What else have we been confronted by this week, honey?
Should we talk about... Oh, yes. So... I knew we were going to talk about this, so I wrote down some things so I didn't ramble about it, because I feel I have lots of thoughts and feelings about this topic. So there's this Instagram called Fight the New Drug, and it is an anti-pornography Instagram page. And it's very much... how would you describe it, babe?
Well, they talk about how porn is evil and it's the devil's work, essentially. And if you're in porn or you watch porn, you're supporting sex trafficking, no matter what, automatically supporting it.
Yeah, and it basically just frames like all women who do porn are victims. And that's the most annoying part about it, is because...
Why don't you bring up a post, for example?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that way people can kind of get some context. There's this whole page dedicated to basically taking down the porn industry. And it's pretty pathetic.
Well, okay, so here's one post, and it says, PSA, porn is normalizing rape culture. And what I have to say about that is that rape has been around way longer than porn has. So I don't really understand how you get that from that. Also, in the US, especially, the rape culture here is not as bad as it is in the Middle East. And porn is legal in the US, porn is illegal in the Middle East. So there's really no correlation between rape culture and pornography, in my opinion, at all.
Yeah, I mean, the poorest countries are always the most religious and always the most demeaning to women. So by giving women more power and more autonomy over their own bodies, we're progressing society. And porn is part of that. Porn is not going anywhere.
Yeah.
So we can only improve what porn is now. I agree there are problems with porn, but the solution is not banning porn or shaming people for having sexual kinks.
Yeah, exactly.
It's only going to lead to problems and issues that we see in other parts of the world where porn is illegal. And a lot of these people, you got to question their motivations. Like, why would you commit an entire Instagram page and thousands of man hours to trying to shut down porn when there are actual problems going on that you could address? Sex trafficking is horrible. It's one of the worst things you could do to a person. Sex crimes are prevalent, but attacking porn is just, it's an easy target.
Yeah, it's definitely an easy target, and I really don't like how it kind of takes power away from women and just frames women as victims. Like, every woman who does porn is a victim. They're being
taken advantage of.
Yeah, they're being taken advantage of.
They can't make their own decisions.
And the thing about it is, most consensual, willing porn stars, they go in, they sign a contract, and get paid for their services. And that's a job. And I think it's like really disempowering to just say like, oh, that's not cool, or like you're taking advantage of them. When it's like, if you're a legal adult, if you're 18 years old, you have personal responsibility for your life. Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So I think saying that women who regret doing porn should just be able to, like, you know, it's the porn site's fault for keeping their videos up. It's like, no, you signed a contract. Like,
right.
Do you know how business works? Like, you know, this is a business.
Yeah, the thing is like, people will say, well, she was barely 18.
But she was still 18.
She's still 18.
Yeah.
Like, we have laws for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
We can't go around enforcing laws on a case-by-case basis. That's why we set the 18 age as being a legal adult. Because after that point, you're allowed to sign contracts and do whatever you want because this is a free country. And now people want to make it 25. Or
yeah,
they're
literally.
Basically trying to extend our childhood further and further and further. I mean, I think it's improved a lot. I mean, I don't want to go back to the times when you were 12, you were expected to go work in the steel mill, you know, back in the day, you know, in the 1930s or whatever. But kids used to be adults earlier than 18. And now it's like we're trying to push it past 18.
Yeah.
I remember when I was 18, I mean, I wasn't as mature as I am now. I don't think I'm as mature now as I will be when I'm 36. But I was definitely cognizant when I was 18. I was making decisions. You know, I wasn't so out of it that I couldn't decide what was good for me and what was not good for me. And that's how we learn as people, you know, that's how we go through life. We have to be able to make mistakes and try new things, and just the continued, what would you call it? The continued, like,
infantilization.
Yeah, infantilization of our youth is a real detriment to not only us as a society and the way we go about our lives, but also to the economy. We're making these kids a burden on their parents for longer and longer. And it's like, get out there, get in the workforce, try new things. Don't try to keep kids forever.
Yeah, and like, going along with this topic, the whole like Mia Khalifa situation. Basically, she did porn when she was 21 years old. And
she was 21?
Yeah, she
wow,
was
so
21.
She was even older than 18.
Yeah, she signed a porn contract, did porn, and basically regrets it, and is now on this like campaign to tear down porn and like porn sites in the porn industry. And she thinks that it's unfair that her videos are still available to see on, you know, Pornhub or whatever. And it's just like, take personal responsibility for the things that you did. You know, you got paid, you signed a contract. And then now she's older and like just regrets it basically, and just wants it to, just thinks that she can just take it all away, and that everyone is mean to her because they're not just erasing what she did. And
it's really unrealistic, and it's really sad to see so much regret and pain. I mean, I watched her recently in this Anthony Padilla video. I felt her pain, and it was stressful to watch because, like, porn is just one of those things where, like, it's only as big a deal as you make it. Other people will judge you for being in porn, but those people are fucked up. Those people are not bright, accepting individuals.
Yeah.
And that's what should be shamed, not porn stars for doing porn. It's insanity.
Yeah. And in her video that she made with Anthony, they talk a lot about how your brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. And I just keep seeing this argument. And, you know, even if it is true that, yeah, your brain isn't fully developed, you don't have all the decision-making capabilities, even if that is true, so what? Should we make the age of consent 25?
And if we made it the age of consent 25, 10 years from now, everyone on Twitter would be like, well, your brain isn't fully developed until you're 30.
Yeah, or they'll be like, oh, like when you are 25 and you do porn, people will judge you and be like, oh, you like barely legal girls. Because that's always what I hear.
Yeah.
Is when people judge 18-year-olds, or when they judge like men who date younger women, like 18-year-olds, they're like, oh, she's barely legal. It's like, well, if the age of consent raised, you would judge them then as well.
It's just
like,
all these salty old hoes who are, their pussies are dried up. and they're not getting any action, or they're not getting as much action from the quality of guy that they're looking for. You know, they see all these younger chicks who are, you know, super fertile and young, and they're upset. And it's like, instead of just like going to the gym and like working out, or just trying to like form some sort of decent personality, they're going on this tirade on Twitter trying to tear down these younger women. Mm-hmm. And it's so thinly guised. I mean, I think it's so obvious like what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. It's very obvious. Like, you can just tell exactly their intentions with saying that.
So yeah, I really don't pay attention to any of that kind of stuff. It doesn't influence the way I think, but I know it's kind of a popular form of thought that's gaining some traction around, and I think it's just totally the wrong way of approaching life and of approaching these situations. It's really unfortunate to see all this unnecessary pain and anger that doesn't need to happen. There are problems, and address those problems, but don't blame other people who have nothing to do with that. You know, like, don't blame porn stars, don't shame people for watching porn. Like, I saw a comment on one of those posts on the Fight the New Drug page. This guy was like, yeah, you know, I gave up porn, you know, but I've relapsed 3 times. And it's like, first off, bro, I don't need to hear about your jerking off habits, okay? No one asked for that. That's like almost offensive to me. Just like having to like, now I've got this guy, like I saw his profile picture. And I've got his face in my head, and I'm thinking about him jerking off now. So thanks for that.
Yeah, like guiltily jerking off.
Yeah, and
like,
it's just like this, like gross, like like him jerking it, but feeling really sad about it. And it's like, God, like that's just jerk off.
Yeah, it's like natural.
It's totally natural to fucking whack your cock. Like you're horny. It makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, it's just like Jesus. People get horny, they jerk off, they go about their day. Mm-hmm. You know. You're not supporting, unless you're buying a human. You're not supporting sex trafficking.
Yeah, and yes, exactly. And like another thing with the 25 thing, you know, like your brain's not fully developed until you're 25. I really think that this argument is only made by people who just want to stall like taking any responsibility. You know, they're 20 or they're 21, and it's just like, oh, I can do whatever I want because I'm not 25 yet, so no one can judge me or whatever.
Yeah.
Like when the whole like Black Lives Matter stuff was going on, someone responded to one of my posts on Instagram, and it was like, people's brains aren't fully developed until they're 25. So if you do racist things before you're 25, you know, that doesn't really count.
What?
And it's kind of just like,
That's insane.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, you're not taking personal responsibility for your own actions and your own thoughts. You know, you're just trying to stall taking responsibility for your own life. That's not a good way to be. You should be actively trying to be an adult and form correct behaviors as soon as possible.
That's just crazy, because like you have like the most testosterone and the most pent-up aggression, and like you're at the peak of your physical like health when you're 25.
Yeah.
Like that's when you can do the most damage. So these white supremacists who are around that age, like they shouldn't be held accountable for committing hate crimes?
Yes.
Because they're not 26? Like that makes no sense.
Yes. All I take away from that argument is that they think that the age of consent should be 25. You shouldn't be tried as an adult until you're 25. You shouldn't be allowed to have sex until you're 25, or do porn, or drink, or do anything until you're 25.
And even if they got that legislation passed, it would never be enough for them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's never enough. So yeah, that's that. Do you have any more to say on that topic?
No, I think I'm good.
Did you cover everything you wanted to cover?
Yeah, I mean, I'm only 20, so when I am 26, I'll probably think, like, oh man, like, I did some silly stuff back in the day.
Sure.
But that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay to mess up.
Yeah, it's okay to, like, you know...
As long as you learn from that
exactly.
experience.
So if you're, you know, under 25, please don't be afraid to, like, make life decisions or do things.
Right.
Like, you know, start your life.
Don't be afraid to take on responsibility. Responsibility is the key to a happy and successful life. Mm-hmm. So yeah, Instagram hates women. No sense of humor. Yada yada. All right, I think we can move on to the emails.
Yes.
Our first email today is from Cameron. He says, "Hey Forrest, I've been a huge fan of your content for about 11 years, and I was so excited to see that you're doing a podcast. I just wanted to ask you a question about this girl. I first dated her my first year of high school and broke up before the end of the year. We got back together senior year and dated for 14 months. And now 3 years has passed and I'm 21 and I have still never found someone who makes me feel like she did. We had everything in common, like so much that it was scary. We were like identical. I've only heard from her once in the last 3 years because I reached out to her to see how she was doing, but that was it. And one day doesn't go by that I don't think about her. And it pisses me off. Because, like, I shouldn't spend all my time thinking about a girl who isn't even in my life anymore. But no matter what, I can't get her out of my head. I can't picture life with anyone else. I've even had 2 relationships since then. I seriously doubt that she is interested in me anymore, and I know we're not going to get back together just because we've already broken up twice because of my anxiety and depression. Which is weird because she always made me happy, but I just always have had a really bad depression ever since I had a life-changing experience on LSD, but that's a whole nother story, lol. I make music for a living, and almost all of the shit I make is somewhat about her. She doesn't know. Which just reminds me even more of her, because every time I hear one of my songs, I am again reminded of her. The question is, what do I do? How do I let myself give up on her and let her go? Or do I tell her that I think about her all the time? I just don't know anymore, man. Alright, I've got some thoughts on this, but what do you think, honey?
So, I guess if you know for a fact that you guys aren't going to ever get back together, if you've made attempts to get back together with her and she said no, I guess you just really have to try your best to move on. You can't sabotage the rest of your life and the rest of your relationships just because you're still in love with this girl that you dated when you were in high school.
Yeah, it sucks because he's already had 2 relationships since then, and he's still thinking about this girl. She's probably not as great as you think she is, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, you probably have this, like, idealized version of her in your head, and that can be a lot for someone to live up to. Mm-hmm. If you're putting all this pressure on her, and you think of her as this perfect, amazing person, and you're never going to be satisfied with anyone else, that's a recipe for her feeling like there's a lot of pressure on her, and that she's not going to be able to live up to your standards. The standards that you've created for her, and you gotta be more chill. Mm-hmm. You gotta figure out a way to relax your body and relax your mind, more importantly. I don't know if you smoke weed or do any kind of recreational drug. I mean, it sounds like you did the LSD and that was a bad experience for you. I've had very positive experiences on LSD, so I am sorry that happened to you like that. It's not for everyone, and it depends on the type of person you are and what stage of life you're in, but you really got to let her go. I don't think it's healthy for you to pursue her anymore. I wouldn't message her any further. I would unfriend her. Get her out of your mind as much as possible. Make sure you don't see any photos of her. Stop writing about her. Stop making art about her. It's not going to be healthy, like you said. It's just going to be kind of this like bubble of echoing sound chamber of always thinking about her. I would try your best to remove yourself from her, because it sounds like it's becoming a real issue, and what I don't want is for you to get resentful of yourself and, hate the way that you're thinking. Mm-hmm. We've all been there, it's not a fun place to be. Yeah, I mean...
I guess also just realize that it may feel like she's the only person who you'll ever be happy with, or it may feel like you guys had a lot in common and no girl will ever measure up to her again. But the thing is that there isn't just one person for everyone. No. There's so much potential in every single person that you meet if you let it happen.
Yeah.
And different people bring out different good qualities in you, and you can have different types of good relationships. So you don't always have to be with someone who you totally agree with everything on and you have a lot in common with. You might have a lot in common with her in one area, but not in other areas. So I think that keeping your mind open and just each woman that you're with, try to find what this relationship brings out in you. Because, everyone was different and everyone will bring out something good in you.
Yeah, try to find someone who is different enough that you can appreciate her without having to compare her constantly to this old girl.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe you're not even ready for a relationship. Maybe you should focus on yourself for a while. I feel like I say this every single podcast, but change your routine. Make sure you're exercising. Make sure you're drinking lots of water. I need you to be there mentally, because we need good, strong people out there, and we can't have you getting all fucked up over this chick. It's just not worth it, bro.
One thing I can recommend, this is a little bit off topic, but for your anxiety and depression, is take reishi mushroom powder. Look it up on Amazon. It's really good shit, I promise. I use it. It's all natural. It'll help you, and it really puts me in a really positive mindset, a really positive, joyful, grateful mindset, and it's all natural. So, yeah, I would definitely recommend you take some of that.
You know what? I'm going to go ahead and put a link to that in the description of this podcast, so you'll have a quick link, and anyone who wants to use that, Alyssa's always prescribing me these remedies, and they actually do work. I don't know if it's just a mental thing or what, but I find them extremely useful as well. Good suggestion, honey.
Thanks.
All right, let's move on to the next email. Thanks for writing in, Cameron, by the way. Lack of motivation from Joshua. Hey Forrest, I've been watching your videos for years now. Your Bats Attack video was the first thing I ever saw on YouTube, but that's besides the point. I always found your Zombie Universe movies really inspirational, and I've been planning to make a movie for YouTube in a similar fashion. Dope. This summer, I started filming it, but things just really haven't been working out. Dun, dun, dun. I don't have many subscribers, and I've been really questioning if I should continue working on it when not many people will end up seeing it. Up in Vermont, not many people have the same interests as me, so I'm alone in this. How did you stay motivated when making your Zombie Universe movies or any of your time-consuming videos? Thanks in advance. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it is tough to keep that motivation when the people around you aren't necessarily supportive or even that excited for it, but that's what the internet's for, you know? Try to find your motivation online. Try to find your peers online because they are out there. I mean, any kind of niche, eccentric interest that you may have, there is a community online, and you can go there and be a part of it. That's the great thing about the internet, is you can always find your people. You found my videos and they inspired you, you know, now we're talking. It's kind of a crapshoot, you know, wherever you're born in your own hometown. I mean, like, unless you get really lucky and, you know, your best friend's also super into filmmaking or whatever. Generally, you know, you're not going to have people who share your exact same interests. So the internet's a real blessing. You should just keep making your movie. I mean, I wouldn't stop making it just because you don't have the attention, the amount of subscribers. I mean, it doesn't sound like you've even finished it. So how do you expect to get subscribers unless you actually start uploading stuff? And even if you upload it and you don't get as many subscribers in the amount of time that you want, you still learned a lot just from doing the movie. And the next one will be even better because you've learned so much. So don't quit, you know, keep that passion alive. It's really important that you do so because so many people in this world don't have passion and they're kind of struggling and they're kind of lost and they're kind of susceptible to negative influence because they don't have their own bright light inside of them. Well, they do, but they're not nourishing it. They're not fostering it. So you need to foster that light and foster that creative inspiration and really bring it out and show others. I think that's really important. What would you say, honey?
Yeah, I would definitely say the same thing as Forrest. Keep doing it. It's really important to have a passion, and that's really cool that you have one. Hold on to it. Yeah, the internet is an amazing place. It's like unprecedented. We have access to the whole world. So yeah, I'm sure you'll find your people on the internet, if not in your hometown. Yeah, and I guess like when you're old enough, like when you have the cash, move to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Or somewhere, you know, where your art is appreciated and you have more like-minded people around you.
Definitely.
So, but yeah, keep going.
When I first came to LA, I was so shocked and just floored and knocked my socks off how many people here spoke my language and were really, truly passionate about animation. It was really awe-inspiring. I mean, you know, because I've always had that with people online, but to actually come to a town where I can go out to a bar and chat with people there and they're talking about how they set up C-stands and you're just like, whoa, like this is awesome. It's really cool to like meet new people and have it be in a real space. All right, we're moving on to the next email. This is a more technical one, but I'm happy to answer these as well. They're not as juicy as the other emails, but you know, every once in a while someone will ask a technical question and I feel like I might be able to lend a little bit of insight. This is from Sean. He says, color grading correction. Hello, Forrest. I grew up watching your videos and they inspired me to start making brick films of my own. My favorite thing about brick filming is learning new skills that help improve the quality of my videos. That is fun about brick filming. The skill that I'm trying to learn right now is color grading / correction. And he spelled color the British way, so maybe he's from England or somewhere else. I'm not sure how this applies to Lego figures, and it would be really interesting and insightful to hear your thoughts on the subject. Thanks, Sean. So I do all my color grading inside After Effects. I know there's a lot of really great color grading programs. What I use in After Effects is generally pretty simple. Under effects and presets, I type in color balance, and that's the plugin that I use, and then exposure, and generally selective color. And selective color is the really important one because it lets you fine-tune each color specifically without affecting the other colors, and you can kind of create your own mood or style using that. I mean, the best way to color grade, in my opinion, is in camera. I mean, you want to be able to set up the lights and expose the camera in a way where you get the best, clearest, most vibrant image that you're looking for without doing anything to it. And the color grade is kind of a way to enhance it and make it even better than what you got in camera. But I always try to get the best thing in camera as possible and then work from there. I know there's a lot of cinematographers, especially ones working digitally, who will shoot the footage really washed out, I guess you'd say. I've seen a lot of digital people say that if you shoot something more washed out, it gives you more color range later on in the edits. I haven't found that to be true personally. I just try to capture the best image possible, and then I work from there. So the main thing I would say is just experiment, try different lighting setups, maybe watch a movie or find a few different scenes from a few different movies that you want to try to recreate and try matching that style and getting it close to that style. Like, maybe a scene from The Matrix where it's really green, or maybe a scene from Batman Begins or something where it's a lot of oranges, or there's so many different types of lighting and so many different ways you can play with color that you should really just experiment. And the more you do, the more practice you'll have and the more experience and kind of inspiration you'll have to create your own visual style. That's a really fun part of the process. So just enjoy it. All right. But selective color in After Effects, that is the main thing you should take away. I really like selective color. It's just a lot of fun. All right. The last email we have for today, it's from Jake. And Jake says, how to deal with an ex-best friend who is out to get you.
Oh my God.
Hey, Forrest. My name is Jacob, and I've been a huge fan of your films since I was little. I saw an announcement on your YouTube about your new channel, and I was happy to check it out and subscribe. Thank you. You recently asked about a controversial topic or some drama that we think would be good for you to talk about on your podcast, and I think I have a very current and intriguing topic that will entertain you and the viewers. See, this guy is really looking out for us. This story has to do with some pretty personal shit, so bear with me here. I'm going to keep things anonymous for the other party's sake, despite the horrible things that they did that are worthy of exposure. At a sleepover in Washington, D.C., the summer before my freshman year of high school, I had met my soon-to-be best friend for 3 years. We had bonded at the sleepover as some of the other kids were being mean and ostracizing towards her, so being the kind and considerate person I am, I spoke with her during the sleepover to reassure her that I liked her and was on her side. From the convos we had, we immediately clicked and became close friends thereafter. Alright, I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. What's going to happen here? Especially the part about him being the kind and considerate person he is. I don't know. Are you that kind? She was very different from me personality-wise and came from different circumstances. She was a biracial immigrant born in Italy who moved here very young with only her mother. She struggled financially, and due to our friendship, I felt the need to help her in whatever way possible to lighten the financial stress in her life. Ordering and paying for food would be the main charity. One night during my sophomore year, we were ordering food off of Uber Eats where she interjected, "If we create a new account under my name, we can use a promo code to save money on the food we order since you're paying and all." I agreed to the idea, set up an account using her information while using my card. After ordering, I asked her to delete the card info I had input as I went to the bathroom, and she responded that she would immediately. The food came and we enjoyed the rest of our night. Oh geez. An entire year went by and we continued our friendship. She had become more and more influential in the DC area. She gained lots of followers on Instagram for her political activism. She began writing songs and making music, and made a lot of new connections, including a group of friends, some of which I still hang with today. We did many things together. I marched with her for the Clean Dream Act that called attention to the renewal of the DACA legislation that helped protect child immigrants, dreamers, from getting deported because of their illegal citizenship. I helped her write music, host parties, and continued to help her financially. My parents and sibling never really thought positively of her, saying that they thought she was using me and never reciprocated any of the appreciation I gave to her. I denied these opinions, claiming they didn't know her like I did, and they were ganging up on me because she happened to be the first person I came out of the closet to and were jealous of our mutual understanding. Oh, okay. Nice little twist there. It turns out my family was right and I was very wrong. Oh, shit. In September of 2017, my parents asked me why there were so many Uber Eats charges on their card. Oh, geez.
Oh my god.
The charges amounted to $2,700 over the course of 9 months. I have no clue, I replied. I only use Uber Eats when I'm with my friends. My parents asked me to investigate among my friends to see if they accidentally used my card without knowing or any other reason. Listen, if you have $2,700 missing, that's not an accident. Okay?
Also, like...
That's hundreds of meals.
Wouldn't you check your checking account?
It kind of seems like these people are loaded.
Yeah.
Like, if you didn't...
Because I would immediately notice if, like, $40 was missing out of my checking account.
Exactly.
I would be like, oh, what the fuck is this Uber Eats?
I mean, I might not notice 40, but I'd notice $2,700. Definitely. And yeah, it's like, you have to, like, not check your bank account for a while, like 9 months.
Yeah.
Like you gotta have some good money in the bank to not notice that. And like to ask the friends if they accidentally used the card, like who's accidentally charging $2,700 over 9 months? Like wouldn't they notice that their bank account's not being hit? Obviously, there's some fucking crazy shit going on here. Okay, so this is a really bad situation. I'm back on this guy's side. Sorry I doubted you.
Let us keep reading.
He does seem like a nice guy. When I confronted who I considered to be my best friend, already with the idea that she didn't do it, she confirmed and said, I would never do that to you, and it's wild that you would think that to begin with. Did your parents think I did this? Yeah, I said. Wow, she replied. I knew they were racist.
Oh my god.
Even one night, when she came to my house and saw my parents, she blatantly and randomly brought up the situation, saying, I can't believe someone would steal that much money from you guys. When Jake told me about it, I literally started crying. Like, seriously. That's when my family insisted it was her who did it, but I was still in denial. Well, who did it then?
Yeah, it's like...
She's the one who did it.
You gave her your card information.
Who else would have done it?
Yeah, who are you giving your card information to, you know?
Yeah.
Like, who else could it be?
Yeah. I was beginning to have mixed feelings. I trusted my friend as I felt as though she's been there for me in situations my parents haven't, while the issue I was in with the mysterious charges was becoming very serious and seemingly unsolvable. Bro, I already solved it. My parents informed me after weeks passed that they opened up a case with the credit card company for fraud and that there will be an investigation launching into it soon to find out who did it. Fearing the danger one of my friends could be in, I reached out to every person I knew had ordered food with me before, one last time explaining the new circumstances. When I finally asked my best friend, this time adding the cops were involved, she fessed up. Wow. I called her frustrated and she began giving excuses, saying, we had no food, we were poor, my mom only had $2 in her bank account, etc. I told her that I can't trust her because she lied to my face and my parents and turned me against my own mom and dad when they were right in the end. I also said that if she told me that she was struggling, she should have known I would have told my mom and we would have helped her however we could. When I asked my other friends if they knew anything, one of them told me that they had received Snapchats from her saying, I wonder how long it will take Jake to realize that I'm using his card for my food. LMAO. Oh, that's so fucked. Ah, God, this guy is he's too nice. Seeing that was the final straw, I told her I want nothing to do with her for the rest of my life and wished her the best. My friends sided with me and also left her alone. She continued to gain attention on social media for her political activism. What a two-faced fucking bitch.
Literally.
And was widely supported by high schoolers across DC, despite being the horrible person she is. LOL. Yeah, literally, LOL. During the beginning of the 2020 Black Lives Matter movement, I had made a Snapchat post saying how I didn't believe in the violent protests, jokingly stating at the end that if one wants to burn down their local Target, then period, be my guest. Ignorantly holding up the BLM fist as a joke. This caught a lot of negative attention and somehow made its way to my ex-friend. Jumping on that opportunity, she posted my video to thousands of her followers calling me a racist claiming that I had called her the N-word when we were friends, and countless other lies. Oh, that's so fucked up. This is not going down a good, happy road. Feeling pressured by others' responses, I made an apology about the video and pledged to better educate myself on a topic before speaking out. Fuck. Though this situation has de-escalated, I still don't feel right. I don't feel like enough people know not to trust her, as she still holds on to her old, vindictive, and manipulative ways. I want to know what the final solution might be to this problem, to clear my own name of these false accusations she made, while sealing her entire persona away from my memory. She has caused me too much pain and suffering socially, emotionally, and financially to sit still with this happy ending. I just don't know what to do. I was hoping you could share my story if you think it's worthy, so I can hear your opinions and the great people of YouTube. Thanks for listening to literally the longest email I've ever written, and I wish you success in starting your new channel. I'll be watching and supporting as much as I can. Best, Jacob. Wow.
Damn. I'm so sorry that happened to you. That's horrible.
Yeah, this is like the problem with these like self-righteous people.
Yeah.
And they kind of have this like protection because they're such a victim.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't even know what to say, man.
Yeah, she literally stole like $2,000 from you and then pretends to be the victim after. Like,
It's so screwy. I mean, these people, they've got a screw loose, and that's not your fault. That's not your responsibility. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would just distance yourself from that as far as possible. I don't know the details exactly of your apology, but hopefully you didn't apologize for anything that you didn't actually say.
Yeah.
Like, if she accused you of using the N-word and you absolutely didn't, then don't apologize. Only apologize for stuff that you're actually sorry for. Uh-huh. Hopefully you didn't, take the L on that.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, I know this is way easier said than done. I know, I understand that, but the thing is you know who you are. You know that deep in your soul, you're not a racist person. You're not racist.
Right.
You were her friend for a really long time, and she betrayed you. So yeah, you know who you are. The people around you who matter the most know who you are. They won't believe this bullshit because she's obviously a liar. She obviously plays the victim when it's convenient for her.
She basically just like really screwed you over, and there's nothing you can really do about it. Mm-hmm. I mean, short of like kicking her ass in the street, like, you're not going to do that. Obviously you're a man and she's a woman, and that's illegal, and, you shouldn't do that. So what else are you going to do? What are you going to go on a smear campaign and talk shit on her? Like, no, that's going to make you look bad. There's nothing you can do. She fucked you over big time, and you just have to take that L and just move on with your life and learn from this experience. Obviously, she's a miserable person. Mm-hmm. Hopefully one day she gets better and, she apologizes to you. I don't see that ever happening, most likely. I mean, I don't know her at all or the situation that well. But sometimes you just lose in life and you kind of just have to dust yourself off and keep going. This is one of those situations, and I'm really sorry that all happened to you.
Yeah, she's obviously just letting this Instagram fame, get to her head, Yeah. She just wants more attention. She wants more followers, more people feeling bad for her, basically.
It's really disturbing.
Yeah.
You don't want to believe that these activist people can be like this, and it sucks when people adhere their personality so deeply to these cultural issues because you don't even know who they really are. They really... It's really disturbing when these kind of situations come to light. But yeah, I believe you, man, and you know what's true. Like Alyssa said, you know what's right, and the people who love you, they know the situation. And yeah, if anyone ever asks you about her, you can tell them the truth. That's the thing. The truth is the greatest thing. Just be truthful with yourself. Be truthful with others. Just forget all this. Move on with your life and try to forget about her.
Yeah, I'm really sorry, dude. That sucks.
Yeah, that sucks ass. God, that's so horrible. All right, I think that will be the end of this podcast. That was pretty juicy. Thanks for writing that in. I appreciate the long email and the explanation. And yeah, everyone who wrote in, thank you for your emails. They were great. I want more emails. So if you have an issue, a controversial opinion, hot take, just an issue you're going through in life, you need some advice, or just want to air your grievances, email justforclickspod@gmail.com. That is the place to contact me about this podcast. And yeah, I guess we'll see you guys next week.
Yeah, thanks for having me, babe.
Oh, of course. Fun. I'm loving this podcast so far. Thanks, everybody, for listening, and thanks for supporting the show. We're going to keep it going for you. Have a good week.